my name is Heather. Welcome to Strings and Threads, coming to you from my Dungeon of Dreams. Thank you so much for being here. I love doing make-alongs, I love doing video tutorials, and most of all, I love talking yarn, crochet, and knitting with my friends. That's you. So if you like all of those same things, I encourage you to subscribe and become part of all the fun that we do here on this channel. It's the last day of the month, and on the last day of the month, I like to show all the makes that I did for the whole month. I do want to say real quick that I may look down here and there in the video because I don't trust my memory to be able to remember everything that I did this month. So I might look down at my notes just to make sure that I got everything. So please forgive me for that. I'll try to keep that to a minimum. I'm going to start with Battle of the Stitches. For those of you who don't know, that's a collab that I'm doing with Teresa from Critters Crochet. Make sure you check her out. And we've been having special guests join us each month. If you're interested in becoming a special guest, get in touch with either me or with Teresa and we'll hook you up. So what we're doing is we're showing a stitch, we're coming up with our own unique pattern using that stitch, and then at the end of the month we do a poll where people can vote on the one that they like the best, and whichever one wins the poll will be put in a giveaway for whoever wants to have that. It's been so much fun, and I hope that you share this out share out about Battle of the Stitches, because I feel like we haven't had a lot of interest in it. Those of you who are watching, I know you're excited about it because I've heard you say it, but I would love to get it out there more so that we can get more people involved in this. To me, this is a lot of fun. But this month, the stitch was called the shallow single crochet stitch, so I put up a video tutorial on how to do that. So that's one of the things I accomplished this month. I know that that stitch also goes by different names, but what we're doing is we're working through the stitches in this book, 200 crochet stitches, and there's the author. And I'm just going by the name that they give it in the book. So they called this the shallow single crochet stitch. And so if you wanted to join in with us, we're going in order, you can kind of get an idea of what month you might want to join us. When I saw that stitch, I immediately thought spider. I thought that stitch just looked so much like a spider's body. I even made the legs out of that stitch. So this was my creation for the Battle of the Stitches. And so not only did I make this, but I made a video tutorial showing how to make this. So if you wanted to make one for yourself, you can go and find the tutorial for this and make one for yourself. It is made with only these legs are made with pipe cleaner on the inside, and there's only 4 of them. And then on the bottom, you just sew them long, and then you can adjust these to have it pose however you want it to pose. So things we're making Thursday. It's a collab that I'm doing that's out there for anybody to join. We just use hashtag TWMT, and each month is a theme. So if you look for any of the things we're making Thursday videos, people should have listed in their description what the theme is for each month, and then you can just join in. There's no one that you have to ask permission from or anything like that. This past month for July has been Amigurumi. And so I wanted the challenge. So I put it out there. I said, if you have an idea of Amigurumi for me to make, I would love to hear your suggestion. I'll put it on a list. And if I make the one that you suggested, then I'll send you a free PDF copy of the pattern that I come up with for that item. So the one that I decided to start with, I did get a nice list. The one I decided to start with is Dragon, because I had been wanting to make one anyway. I do the dragon head dice bag, you could see that one here, or drawstring bag is what I'm calling them now. And then I did a mini one right here. And I do a lot of dragon things, but the whole dragon was a little bit intimidating to me because I was always pondering what's the best way to do the wings, what's the best way to make the body. So I decided to do a baby dragon, and I named the baby dragon Surian, and the pattern for that is up on my Etsy page. And there were 2 people who suggested dragons, so they both received a free PDF version of this pattern. But this one took a lot of my time. Basically, the first 2 weeks of the month, I just locked myself in this room and worked on this, unless I was absolutely needed somewhere else. So it kind of limited how much stuff I got done this month, but I'm really proud of how Surian turned out, the baby dragon. I love her, him, whatever. I just keep calling this one her. I don't know. She just kind of, it looks like a her to me. But I'm really proud of the chubby cheeks because it's a baby. So I kind of played around with that a lot, and I came up with a way that I've never done before with making a pattern for making these chubby cheeks and the eyes and the wings. Since it's a baby, we just did baby wings, so that made it a little bit easier for me. A full-grown adult dragon wings might have still been a little bit intimidating, and had to give a lot of thought to the spines up I guess there's spines up the back, I don't know, and the way the chest is. And another thing I really loved are the claws. I was able to get from Amazon, let me see, I don't know how you say the name of the company, so I'll just show you. And I just put metal claws, and this is what came up, and they screw on. So they're very much like safety eyes, but instead of a snap on the back, it's a screw. So you take a screwdriver, but they screw right into the stitches, no problem. And they're not going anywhere. So it's not like they're just loosely attached. I'm pulling on it and it's not going anywhere. So they're very, very secure. But I think that just gave it a nice little added touch to have those claws. So this pattern I'm really proud of. If you're not interested in buying it, but you still want to help me out, if you go to my Etsy store, which is listed in my description below, and then just click on the heart button on the Surian dragon pattern, it really helps the algorithm. So far, I've had one person purchase it and no likes or anything like that. But I noticed also if you go to an Etsy search and you put crochet dragon pattern, my pattern doesn't show up because there's so many of them. So in order to show up in the algorithm, I need to have people like it or buy it. So if you're not, and I'm not expecting people to rush out and buy it, but if you wanted to help my shop out, just by going and clicking on the heart button and favoriting it, you're not buying it, you're not paying any money when you do that. All you're doing is letting Etsy know that you like this pattern, and when they get a certain amount of people liking patterns, they start putting it into their searches and algorithms more. So thank you for those of you who are willing to do that for me. Thank you. Things we're making Thursday. I started an octopus wearing a backpack. I haven't completed that one yet, but I've decided to continue the Amigurumi theme, not into things we're making Thursday. Next month for August, we're doing granny squares. So I'll do a separate project for things we're making Thursday. But I decided on Mondays, I'm just going to call it Amigurumi Monday, and I'm going to continue on because I love all the suggestions that I got, and I really love the challenge of trying to make something that people have suggested to me. So I'm going to continue that on Mondays, and I'll finish up with the octopus when it gets done. This is going to be a fun project for me. It's not going to be something I'm going to put a lot of pressure on, that I must create a new one every week. I'll show you the progress every Monday, and I'll talk about my process in coming up with the design. So be on the lookout next month for that. That's a new segment that I'm going to put up, and I'm really excited about it. So this month, I made 2 hat tutorials. They are in my playlist of hat tutorials. And the first one I did is called the Cozy Cottage Hat. And here's how it looks. I really like the 2 colors together, and you could choose any 2 colors. I like pink and gray together, but you can use any colors that you would like for that. And it's just such a nice fitting hat. I really love the way this is. It feels light on my head, even though it would be for colder weather. So it feels like a cozy cottage to me, like you're just, in a cozy setting and keeping warm. the second hat, I did a tutorial for the stitch, and then I created the hat from the stitch. So the name of the stitch is called Blocks and V's. So if you look at the hat, not the rim, but this part, this is basically the Blocks and V's design. So if you wanted to make something other than a hat, I do have a tutorial that I put up just for the stitch for how to do this. You can do it in a round or you could do it back and forth, because basically it's kind of the same inside out too. You could do it this way or this way. It looks the same. So it's a great stitch in that way. But then I also did a tutorial for the hat. So if you're interested in making one of these hats, you can look in my hat tutorial playlist and it will be there. But I'll put this on. I think this is my newest favorite just because I love this stitch so much. I think it's such a unique stitch. And I love how it turned out. So those are two other things I did. I redesigned a book that I had published on Amazon, and I've been self-publishing. I'm not sure how you publish through publishers, and I don't know the rules about whether you lose your rights to the patterns if you do it through a publishing company. And rather than go through all the heartache of being approved, not being approved, you know, losing rights to my patterns, etc., I just decided to self-publish on Amazon. And so I had made a book called Fantastic Fantasy Dice Bags, just because we are a gaming family, and that's kind of, there is a niche market for that, for handmade dice bags. But I thought I would give it a try with renaming it into drawstring bags to see if that would draw more people in, because it wasn't getting a ton of traction. There was a little bit of interest in it, but I thought maybe if I changed the way I marketed it, it would maybe be seen more. So I decided to do Fantastic Fantasy drawstring bags. I'm looking down because I have the book right here. And I actually added some more patterns to it too, because since I first published the other book, I had come up with more designs. So the original book had 19 patterns in it, and this one has 26. So it's a little bit of a better deal for that. I have all 26 listed on the back. If you're interested in reading it, you could pause it there and read it. This is the description I put for it on Amazon. And then there's a little bit about me too. I'm not going to keep that up there, but if you were interested in reading that, you could pause your video and read it if you were interested. So that was a big deal for me. That took a bit of time to redo the manuscript. I was originally just going to keep everything the same, but swap out the manuscript. But Amazon was giving me a little bit of a hard time switching the manuscript. I guess I understand that for the first book. So I had to delete the first book, which stinks because I had some really nice reviews on that book. So those are gone, but I had to redo and make it as if it was a new book. So if that's the way I have to do it, that's the way I have to do it. So it's up there. There's no reviews. So if you happen to want to purchase it, I'll have a link for it down in my description below. Then I would be so happy if you could leave me a review for the book as well, so that gets seen. I know there's a ton of books, there's a ton of everything on Amazon, so I don't know how to get seen. I would love it if, you know, it could get out there. So next I did a tutorial for a stitch called the Triple V stitch. And so that tutorial is in my crochet stitch tutorial playlist. That's not something physical I could show you, but I did make a shawl out of it. And I think that it makes a really beautiful shawl. I know some of you were laughing at me because I don't wear shawls, and it's true, I don't wear shawls. So I may in the future as I'm making some of these shawl patterns, because I've noticed a lot of other stitches that I thought would make beautiful shawls. So I believe over time I am going to be making some shawls and making tutorials for shawls, but I won't be wearing them. So in the future, be on the lookout. I might sneak in giveaways for them here and there. I used a whole, this was huge, Bernat Baby Sport, and this was 892 yards. I think the meters are next to it if you're more familiar with meters. And I thought that that would make a great size shawl, but unfortunately I did run out before it was the length that I would have wanted. I still did the tutorial and I just let everyone know what the measurement turned out to be. This is just a rectangular shawl, and that if they wanted to, they could do more. I didn't have another ball of that, and I wasn't going to buy another one, so I just kept it as it is. You can still, this still is definitely a wearable shawl. It's just me personally, I would have liked it. I would have liked it to be longer. So I'll do a close-up on the stitch. This is beautiful and soft and squishy and stretchy. I really, really like how this turned out. If I wore shawls, I would probably wear this all the time. Lastly, for this month, I did the Plant a Seed headband, and I'm wearing it right now. So I'll come up and let you see that, and then I'll take it off and show you. There is a video tutorial on how to make this in my crochet headband video tutorial list. But I really like the way this looks, and I like the way that it fits. So last, I'm going to end with whips. I have been on a wearable kick for quite a while. I used to have a weekly segment where I would talk about wearables, but that's started to be less interesting for my viewers. I noticed that I was getting fewer and fewer views on them. So I decided just to, throughout the month, work on a wearable and then show it at the end of the month with my other makes. And so I'm doing a shirt. It's kind of a hybrid. I am doing the design of the Cande, C-A-N-D-E shirt design, which I'll put a link for in the description. The designer of that shirt is Nomad Stitches. So I took her design for, I wonder if you can see it. Yeah, I think you can. For the top, I took that design, but I did not do the increases. It's a top down. I did not do the increases the same way as she does it in the pattern. I found them to be very time consuming. She does some kind of weird half rows around the top, and then her increases are not consistent. It's like I'm used to doing increase, then do 2 stitches, increase and then do 2 stitches, or increase and do 3, whatever, all the way around. But she'll do like increase, do 3, increase, do 2 stitches, do that pattern 14 times, then switch to increase this many and do this many stitches. And you have to pay such close attention. So what I did was I just took the number of stitches that you need to start the design, and I did the increases more like the way that Crystal from Hook That Yarn does her top-down design. I'll link that in my description too, because I made several of her shirts. This is actually one of Crystal's designs. This shirt here, I made this with Crystal's top-down design, and I love it. I have several of her shirts now that I've made, and I just love them. But I used her increases to get to the number of stitches I needed to start the design. And then I used the Cande shirt design there, and then now I'm just to the point where it's as wide as it needs to be, and I need to add length. So what I'm using for this is the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK Low Pill, which now I know what that means. I didn't used to know what that meant. And the color is Oxblood. but here's what I'm using. And I do like this yarn. I had to ball it up though, because I found that it was doing a lot of splitting and knotting as I was working with it. And I was going to cake it up, but I was somewhere where I didn't have my winder, so I ended up just putting it into a ball. But this is my third ball of it, my third one of these. And I'm hoping that it's going to be enough to make it as long as I would like, because I want to make it kind of the length that I made this shirt, because this is right around where I feel comfortable. I don't like shirts, and I don't need a dress, obviously, but I wanted to make sure that it was long enough. So here's where I'm at. I still have about this much to do, so I'm hoping I have enough. Luckily, I think you can still get this yarn, so I can get another one. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like what you see here, please make sure you subscribe and give it thumbs up. And I'd love to hear your comments. Have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.